All right, so the roots of American democracy. As we talked on Friday, this is a lot of review from 9th and 10th grade. 9th grade touching on the Enlightenment period and the philosophers and their thoughts, as well as 10th grade touching on the United States history, American Revolution to the Declaration of Independence, Articles of Confederation to the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights, which next week we'll have an entire unit on the Constitution, and the week after that will be a unit on the Bill of Rights. So we'll cover those definitely more in depth. Okay, so we have different ideas that kind of shaped colonial views on government, and when we talk about colonial views, we're talking about go back to the 13 original colonies and kind of how they set up things and established things. So they kind of took the concept of direct democracy from the British. So during New England's time, they would have town meetings where the citizens would gather to discuss and solve their problems. They took ideas from the ancient Roman Republic, and they took the idea of representative democracy or representative government, and this is where you elect officials and they make decisions based on the majority. And then from the English and the French came the ideas such as limited law, natural rights, separation of powers, and popular sovereignty. Okay, to talk a little bit about the English roots, remember during the time period of the original 13 colonies, we were controlled by the British. So the traditions and principles of English government had a great influence on political views in the colonies. And although the colonists eventually rebelled against the British rule in the American Revolution, they did have great respect for Britain's constitutional system. They had a system that was based on a set of laws, on customs and practices that limited the powers of government and did guarantee the people certain basic rights. And this is actually one of the main reasons why the colonists rebelled. They wanted to secure their rights of the Englishmen that they had believed was being denied to them during the time period. The tradition that English rights was based on 3 key documents, one being the Magna Carta, which established the principle of rule of law, which pretty much means that everybody, all subjects, including the king, are subject to the rule of law. So everybody had to follow the laws, even the king. So that kind of limited his power. Second was the Petition of Right, and this was a document that prohibited arbitrary arrests, which means they couldn't just go out and arrest people because they wanted to. It also prohibited quartering of troops in private homes without the owner's consent. And it also underscored the principle of limited government, which meant that the king's power was not absolute. Okay, he did have to answer to the people. He could not do whatever he wanted. The third document was the English Bill of Rights, and this is new individual rights that were guaranteed to the British subjects. And it included the right to be able to petition the king, the right to bear arms, and the freedom from cruel and unusual punishment. Other provisions, which included the right to trial by jury, the right to hold elections without royal interference, and the actual English Bill of Rights, they also established the power of Parliament over the king or over the monarchy. So it's kind of like those elected officials, it provides a system of checks and balances for them. It also, the English Bill of Rights stated that the king could not raise or levy taxes on his own needs and wants. It also said that he had to maintain an army during even peacetime. So these are just some of the English roots of kind of when we were setting up our government thoughts and processes that we took from them. I'm going to stop here and upload another one. I just want to make sure this is working. I've had a lot of issues with sound. So give me just a minute.